Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2017 in our European Journeyman series at Bayer Leverkusen. Now today we've got two very big matches. The first one is at home against Anderlecht. Now in that first Champions League knockout round leg we did draw 1-1 away from home. A really disappointing result that has left us a little bit in the balance because an away goal for Anderlecht early on and we really could be in trouble. So we need to make sure we get that win and put ourselves into the Champions League quarterfinals where there's some much bigger opponents waiting for us if we're going to try and win that Champions League title. On the plus side, we're on a fantastic unbeaten run at the moment, so if we can get a win, I would back us to do very, very well. Ever since we changed the tactic, we have looked utterly phenomenal, and I'm hoping that we can keep that going in the Bundesliga where we are challenging for the Bundesliga title. Currently 5 points clear of Bayer Leverkusen with 9 games left to go. And we don't have to play them again. We are looking very, very good. Although we've been drawn with Bayern in at the quarterfinal of the DFB Pokal, that's going to be a huge game, but we will have home advantage. Now, Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, our other opponents today, if we have a look at where they are in the league, you can see they're struggling down in 8th place. They've not been that great this season, although they are heading towards the top half of the table. So they will be a little bit of an interesting challenge, but the main game is definitely this Anderlecht one. Given we've got that cushion in the league, we need to deliver a result. And last time as well, we did suffer a huge injury to Bernardo Silva. He's going to be out for half a year, probably longer with how long it'll take him to get back to full match fitness, and that is a huge blow to us because he has been absolutely incredible since we brought him in January. I mean, he's had 6 league goals in 7 league appearances, 7 goals in 8 appearances overall, and a 7.91 average. Not bad for a player who only cost us £3 million, but he is now out and we will have to make do. So for this game against Anderlecht, we are going to play with a front three of Havertz, Nachtigall and Bailey. In midfield we've got Betty and Doumbia, with Rebolo coming in on the left wing back position, Schiel, Rukas and Jensch the back three, Henriks at right back, not fully fit, down 86% fitness, so I'm not sure if he will see out this game, and Bernd Leno is in goal. But it's worth just remembering that this team is a half completed squad at this point, because we changed the tactic to a very different one to the one we were using at the start of this season and last season, and we've only had that one transfer window to try and improve on it. So if you give us a full summer and a decent transfer kitty, which I think we will have, we could have an absolute world beater side, which is why I almost certainly will stay at Bayer Leverkusen next season as well. Well, the game has kicked off. This is by far the biggest match of our Champions League history with Bayer Leverkusen. We need to make sure we make the most of this weak draw that we got and put ourselves into the quarterfinal, because just about all of the big clubs are still in there. That cross just getting cut out, but Rebolo again pulling it towards Henriks. This is in the first minute of the game before it is properly cleared away. Doumbia does spread it to Henriks. Now Bailey again. Highlights still running. Rebolo over to Doumbia. He finds Henriks, he loses the ball to Vega, and there is the end of that highlight. We've done very well in our first season of the Champions League. Remember, we were beating the likes of Real Madrid in the group stage, and now we're looking at our place in the quarterfinals if we can win this match. Rebolo here, putting the cross in low, and Havertz hits the post, but fortunately it bounces straight back to him and he just tucks it home at the second attempt into the empty net to give us that lead. We've hit the post so many times this season, but for once a rebound falls our way and Havertz does just slot it home, and that is a goal that we needed. We had to get the first goal today, otherwise the pressure really would have been on us. And here's Rebolo to Havertz again. They're looking dangerous down that flank, and he's hit the woodwork again, Havertz. Fortunately, it goes to nothing for Anderlecht, but he is looking very, very up for this game. Henriks just losing possession. But Anderlecht have not got into this game very much at all at the moment. Here's a corner from Betty. Sent towards the far stick. It is headed out by the defender. Jensch looking to send it over. Finds Bailey. Into Nachtigall. I think he's onside, but that is a poor effort straight into the arms of the keeper. Barely had to move to just pick that ball out of the sky. At the moment, Anderlecht without a single shot on goal. We are dominating possession and all of the chances. Nearly up at 70% possession in this first half. Absolutely incredible stuff. Henriks looking very tired in defence. I think we can get more out of this team. 1-0 is still very, very precarious, because an away goal will put Anderlecht through. The team not really reacting. It's going to get very difficult to motivate the team as this winning and unbeaten run continues, because they'll start to get used to the same phrases, and we'll have to rely on being assertive with them even when they're winning. But here's a free kick from Betty into Rukas, and that header over the goalkeeper, who really should have been pushing that one out. Lucas Rukas with the header, and we are 2-0 up, and surely heading to the Champions League quarterfinals in our first season in the competition. We're looking so good at the moment. This formation is incredible. I know that some of you have been asking about where you can get more information. If you want to see this tactic and how to use it, just do a quick search for the Reckonist, Reckonist on YouTube, and you'll find the tactic. Betty's put another corner in. Douglas Santos's header plucked out of the sky. The Reckonist does a lot of work on tactics and different formations that you can try, and you should definitely, if you're struggling with Football Manager this year, you should definitely check out his channel and learn how to play the game. I am not a tactical master, and I bow down to anybody who has that kind of ability. I enjoy transfers and winning matches. That's my main draw. We're just going to bring Fink on here in midfield to try and strengthen our position in these last 15 minutes. But he's absolutely incredible, so definitely go and check out his channel as well. I know in the last few videos I've been linking to the tactic that we're using, but it seems like this season the strikerless formations are the one that are getting the goals. It's bad news if you're a fan of strikers, and I do love a good number 10. Malerba's actually going to come on in that sort of position for us. Here's a free kick from Tielemans. Ball runs loose. Jensch does clear it away, and Bailey has got pace here. He's done the defender. He's got two arriving in the middle, one defender to beat. He goes for goal. What a run and finish from Leon Bailey. That was incredible. Normally in that sort of position a player always misses the target, but he bent that into the far post, and this has been another very impressive performance from the team. 3-0 on the night. It could get worse now for Anderlecht. They're down to 10 men because of injury. Delvaux sends it over. Here's Kukera. We haven't even really mentioned any of the names of the Anderlecht players because this is their first real highlight. Shiel wins the ball for us. Fink over to Douglas Santos. Fink again to Bailey. Now it's with Robolo. He sends it back to Shiel. Havertz. Back to Shiel again. Doumbia onto Havertz. Inside to Fink. Nice little passing play. Ball over the top for Robolo, who is in on goal and dribbles it into that bottom corner. His first ever goal for the club, and it was beautifully taken. It bringing it down from over the shoulder and dribbling it into that far post for 4-0. And we have taught Anderlecht a lesson today. If we were worried after that 0-0 away draw, any worries have completely dissipated with this very impressive and commanding performance. We're just waiting for these last 20 seconds to run down and book our place in that Champions League quarter-final. It's going to be interesting to see who we draw as well, because there are only really big teams left at this point. So we're going to have to beat the best to be the best. But the referee is about to blow the whistle. There it is, 4-0, a fantastic performance. A lot of players getting on the score sheet. Havertz was the catalyst for the goals. Manchester United beating Barcelona as well today. And a very, very impressive performance from us to get us into the next round. If we have a look at the other teams in there at the moment, you can see Atletico Madrid knocked out Monaco and Real Madrid knocked out Spurs. Arsenal took out another of our former teams, Benfica. At the moment it's between Bayern and Man City, but Man City should really be getting through there. United did go through on away goals against Barcelona, which is quite interesting. Milan knocked out PSG as well, so two very big teams out of the competition. Our other two former teams, Valencia and Napoli, still to play, and obviously we have knocked out Anderlecht. If we could play either Valencia, Napoli, Milan, I think that's really it of the teams left. If we could play one of those three, I would be very confident about progressing, but anybody else, we're going to be facing a bit of an uphill battle. Well, here is that Champions League quarter-final draw. You can see that Napoli did beat Juventus, so it's Napoli, the only one of our former teams in the quarter-finals. We're hoping to play either them or Milan if we can, but it's some big teams in there, and maybe not as difficult a draw as we could have expected. If Barcelona and PSG had gone through, it would have been very different. But let's see who first out the hat. It is Milan. Who are Milan playing? They get Manchester City. That's a draw I'm glad to avoid. Next is Atletico Madrid, and they are going to play Leverkusen, there we are. We're going to Madrid. Atletico Madrid, maybe not the worst possible draw. Arsenal and Real Madrid, that's a big tie there as well. And ideally, Milan and Napoli will go through along with us and Arsenal, and that would be the perfect Champions League semi-final draw. But things rarely go that way. If that is what happens, you heard it here first. But that's going to be a tough draw for us against Atletico Madrid. One that I think we can manage. They're the third best team in Spain, have been for a while. Currently sitting second in the La Liga though. And they are going to be tough, but I think that we can beat them. Our next league match is away against Zinedine Zidane's Stuttgart. This is where he now manages at 8th place Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. And I'm expecting us to win because we've got a fully fit team. Fortunately, we're playing on a Monday before the international break, whereas last time we played on the Friday after an international break, which meant it was a car crash for our fitness. This time we are benefiting from having that extra day's rest. So we do have a bit of a stronger team going out there for this match than we had against Anderlecht, and I'm hoping that they can see us through and get 3 more points on the board. Bayern Munich nearly dropped more points, but they got an 88th minute goal, the only one in their match against Hamburg, and it gave them 3 points just at the last second. So hopefully we can match their achievement and maintain that 5-point gap at the top. To do that, we're going to be using a team of Havertz and Nachtgal up front, with Braga joining them as well. Bailey drops to the bench. Betty and Doumbia are both in the centre again, with Robolo and Henriks also both at fullback for the second match in a row, and Schiel, Rukas and Jensch are the back 3, with Leno between the sticks. Doumbia finds Betty. He then pushes it out to Robolo. Ball through to Havertz. He's got 2 to his right. He finds Nachtgal, and Nachtgal slots it home for 1-0. We're still in the first minute of their game, but Nachtgal is there to give us the lead in this match away from home. That is just about the perfect start to this game, and hopefully we can build on it and get 2 or 3 in the first half. Paulsen looking to take the ball out wide. He skips the tackle and plays in Fletcher brilliantly. He beats another defender, and it's in at the near post for Mulder. We should have ended that move about 2 or 3 times in the build-up to that goal, but instead Stuttgart have scored with their first effort on target, and all of our dominance at the moment has come to absolutely nothing. It's all even, 1-1. And now there's another highlight for Stuttgart. It's Junior out wide to Brunel, our former player. He puts it over, and Stoll has hit the woodwork, and then it's just wide or an offside by Brunel, but very close there to completely turning us over, Stuttgart. Last second corner from Brunel into the near post, and it's Paulsen in there. The ball was able to be volleyed in the 6-yard area from a corner. That is horrendous defending, and we've thrown away our lead to a 2-1 defeat. Over an hour gone, here comes Stuttgart again. It's Tess forward, but Schiel cuts it out. Betty on the ball, trying to play in Nachtgal, but it's cut out by the defender Bach. Fletcher onto Paulsen. Robolo's tackle doesn't lead to anything. Mbala forward to Buba. Mbala again. They're waiting for that ball over the top. Mulder has it. He's tackled by Fink, and Betty has the ball. Now Nachtgal puts it through to Havertz. He's in behind. He's got support, and he's put it wide. He should have cut that inside to the man alongside him, and we would have had an easy tap in for 2-2. Jensch, just over 20 minutes left, finds Havertz. Now Robolo might be able to slip a ball through here. Betty's got it. He finds Braga in on goal, and he's put it wide as well. Why has he blasted that high and wide? A simple slot into either of the bottom corners and we'd have been level. We are doing our absolute utmost and fail to take anything from this game. Here's Havertz given away. Cut out by Schiel. Betty down to Braga. Ball on to Havertz. Betty finds Nachtgal. He's onside. Now Betty finds Havertz. Again, trying to find that slip pass. Here's Robolo. Puts it across. Braga's point blank has hit the keeper. I'm starting to think this game's fixed and the team are being paid to throw it away. This is absolutely outrageous. Corner from Betty. In towards the near post. Headed away. Henriks better get to that ball. He does. Betty with it. Puts it in. And Braga does finally get the goal. We've got 10 minutes now to try and find the winner. Well, this has been a really frustrating game. There's only 30 seconds of added time left. It's not going to lead to absolutely anything. We should have won this game 4 or 5 goals to nil. Instead, it's going to finish 2-2. We do at least get that ball out of the box. It is 1 more point. but it means the gap is closed down to 3 points once again with Bayern Munich. Really not good enough from the team. We've at least avoided defeat. That's the biggest thing at the moment. But now just 3 points clear with 8 games left to go. It's starting to look a little bit more uncomfortable for us. Well, you can see we are now 15 games unbeaten in the league, and it's left us with that nice 3-point gap. We've also got that quarter-final now against Atletico Madrid, and having already beaten Real Madrid this season, I'd expect us to get through that. And we've got that DFB Pokal quarter-final with Bayern Munich still to look forward to. So we're still competing on 3 fronts and looking very, very strong. So we cannot complain overall, despite that late draw to Schalke, or Schalke. Stuttgart rather, not Schalke. So we need to make sure we get a win against Hoffenheim in our next match. They are down in 16th place, so they could be a banana skin. And we've also got the DFB Pokal quarter-final against Bayern Munich to look forward to. So 2 very, very big games to look forward to in our next episode. If you have enjoyed this one and that win over Anderlecht, do drop a like on this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. You can also follow me on Twitter by clicking the link in the description, and support the channel on Patreon if you are so inclined. But until next time, see ya.